nice way, y'all. We don't give a shit.
Welcome back to Late Night with Hall of Fame Jason. Welcome into the show, everybody. Stephen G, you about to get that one blown up. That little thought of yours is about to get blown up. I want to let everybody get in here. Hop in. Let's talk college football playoff, what we saw today and what we're going to see moving forward. What's up there, legend? I may cook for a little bit, but then you can pop in here in a few minutes. We need to talk about this because this stupid narrative that's out there right now, it's a stupid narrative. You guys got to stop listening to it. Yeah, you're going to die on it. You're going to die on it. Silly. Why would you die on this hill? For SMU. Bro, come on, man. Look, let's talk about it. Let's talk about these games that we saw today. Obviously, we'll start with the SEC championship game. You had Georgia holding on without a quarterback, pretty much. The quarterback hanging shoulder off his arm, hanging his arm off his shoulder, not looking good. They hold on to win in overtime, 22-19. Get a touchdown right there at the end. Then you've got UNLV getting beat by Boise State last night in the Mountain West championship game. The only reason that matters is because of what's going to happen in the stupid 1-4 seedings. Arizona State, number 15, Arizona State wallops Iowa State 45-19. It was never really close. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Good Sunday morning, Neilio. Thank you for the super chat. Sir, I was hoping you'd pop in here. Welcome in. They beat the brakes off of Iowa State. Beat the brakes off of them. They might be one of the better teams in the country. I still got to see them beat somebody really good, but they're kicking the crap out of everybody. Now, then the Oregon-Penn State game. This is the one that kind of shook my belief in Oregon a little bit. Their defense has got to be better than that, and it has been better than that. But a mid-offense like Penn State, putting 37 on them, concerns me. Then we got the Clemson-SMU game, or as I like to call it, the Sisters of the Poor game. It's a joke. And the people that want to die on the SMU hill, silly. No, I see what you're saying. SMU shouldn't be punished for playing in a championship game. SMU should be punished for playing in a shitty conference. Yeah, Andy Kolonecki. Yeah, I get it. Glad Texas lost. Who isn't? We're all glad Texas lost. Anything possible once Herbie and Nick Saban go on 4 hours trying to influence the committee. All right, Trojan Fight. So who do you got? Give me who you got. All right. Let me ask you this. Let's see. Hey, buddy. Want to let you know I did get a response back from, dang, that sucks. All right. Let's talk about this last one. Clemson, SMU. Now, Clemson doesn't get in except for Miami gagged its ass off after going up 21-0 a week ago at Syracuse. No reason to lose the game. You just find a way to lose it anyway. It's typical Mario Cristobal stuff. So this number one, we're not gonna stick Miami in there just because they only have 2 losses. I had literally had somebody who I thought actually had a brain when it came to college football come at me on TikTok telling me that Miami should get in over Alabama because they only have 2 losses. That's it. That's the answer we're going to give. Right? They only have 2 losses. Well, let's take a look at those. Let's take a look at the wins. We'll go one at a time with these teams. Best wins for Miami. It's probably a toss-up. Week 1, they beat Florida 41-17. Now, that's not the same Florida team that they were at the end of the year. You know, DJ Lagway is a different kind of cat. They're going to be really good. 2 losses to, oh, good. I'm glad you said that, Trojan Fight. 2 losses to unranked teams has to matter. All right, cool. So Miami has 2 losses to unranked teams, right? All right, cool. They're, like I said, they're toss-up. It's a toss-up. It's 8-4 Louisville. They lost 52-45. They beat 9-3. The best win they have is a 9-3 Duke win, 53-31. And then they beat Florida, who was 7-5. So 7-5, 8-4, 9-3. Those are their best wins. They should have lost the game if you don't have if you don't have Virginia Tech completely gagging its ass off for the last 20 minutes of that game, then there's a loss. They were down I think it was 21 to Cal. And stormed back on the road and won that game. I guess you can call that a good win if you want to. Good for them. They beat Florida State. They lost again to Georgia Tech, which I know looks a lot better whenever they, went to 8 overtimes with Georgia. I think Georgia might just not be quite as good as we want them to be, but they are the SEC champions. And then, of course, beat Wake Forest and closed out the year with a loss at Syracuse. Worst they can say is no. All right. So Miami, you're out. Sorry, you're out. 2 losses. That's what we're going to talk about. You played the worst schedule of anybody I've seen. They played South Florida, Florida A&M, Ball State, Testicle Tech for others. Some people would call them that. Their best games are these ACC games and they didn't even play Clemson. No Syracuse. They did. Yeah, they lost to Syracuse. Didn't play Pitt, the other decent team. I mean, Louisville, yeah. I think Louisville's a better team. I mean, we're talking about Louisville for a second. They actually went into Little Death Valley, I'll call it Little Death Valley, and beat the shit out of Clemson. Beat the shit out of them. And SMU, by the way, Clemson just let them back in this game tonight. But we'll go through that a little bit. Clemson's in. They won. South Carolina, you're still not in the playoffs, South Carolina. Still not in the playoffs. Sorry, but you're out. SMU. Let's talk SMU for a second. Their best win, we'll toss that one up too. Louisville, Pitt, or Duke. Their claim to fame is that they have a close loss tonight against Clemson. And they got beat by BYU earlier in the year. They have no top 25 wins. 0. See, Skank Hunt 42. Nice name, by the way. That's stupid. I mean, if you're going to come in and say stuff, don't say stupid shit because I call you stupid. You know what's coming, folks.
Shut up! Little dumbass.
You got to have something smart to say or don't talk. Cherry Bear. What's up, brother? What else we got? Can't lose 3 times and complain. You got to say smart things if you're going to come in here and chat. Now, Trojan Fight. What else you got? 2 losses to unranked teams has to matter. It has to matter. It has to matter. Let's talk about, here's the thing. And somebody said this earlier. I think it was Kai. Where is Kai? Kai-yo. Where is he? Might as well just put all Power 4 conferences in one big league if they're going to put Bama in over SMU. Well, SMU's in a Power 4 conference. They didn't play a Power 4 schedule. Let's take a look at what Alabama did. I'm gonna tell you why this is a simple thing to do. Okay. Everybody wants to talk about losses to Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and Oklahoma, with emphasis on Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. That's where the emphasis always goes. They lost to them. They lost to them. Okay. Notre Dame's never going to join a conference anyway, Stephen G. You guys got to quit talking about silly shit that don't matter. Here's the point. They go, and it's one thing if you run through the whole thing and you're dominant. Okay? You're dominant. They haven't been. They haven't played anybody. They were good. I like SMU, by the way. I think they're not too bad. They're not a playoff team. Are they going to win? Christopher Shannon, is SMU going to beat Alabama? If they were to play, who wins? And don't just say because you want it. Because here's the thing. I'm not a Bama lover. I'm just going to tell you now, they would beat any of the teams we're talking about. They would beat the shit out of Clemson, too. Oh, is he? You don't even say anything worth the shit either, man. Sometimes Trojan Fight, I wish you would just like not talk because you don't say anything that matters. I'll do a call-in show. Come on. No faces. I'll pop that in there in just a second. Give me just a second to cook, and then I'll let you guys come in, and you can argue with me on it if you feel like you have the stones. the worst quarterback in the playoff. Let me think. Well, we'll go through that. I'll go through that argument. You want to call in a minute, Trojan Fight? I bet you won't. Oregon 13-0, Georgia 11-2, Arizona State 11-2, Clemson 10-3. You just can't accept a G5 schedule getting a bye. I agree with that one. There. Look there. Christopher Shannon said something meaningful. Look at that. I love it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Texas, yeah, you didn't get it done. All right. So the best thing that you can say about Alabama is that they, against them is that they lost to Oklahoma and they lost to Vandy. Both of those games were on the road, by the way. And Vanderbilt did everything but beat Texas. If Texas hadn't jumped out to the lead it did, they were trashed. Yeah, there's definitely a good argument for this one, Sooner Legend. I'll give you that. But let's look at these. We just talked about let me just say it one more time. Let me just remind you of the wins that Miami and SMU have. They have wins over Louisville. Both of them have wins over Louisville and Duke. And then Miami beat Florida. And SMU beat Pitt. Yeah, same Vanderbilt that lost to Georgia State. Yeah, fine. Cool. Good talk. Good talk. Didn't you say something about Notre Dame not being able to beat you because they lost to NIU and they came to your house and beat you guys? Trojan Fight. So, what are we talking about? Let's talk about the wins that I just told you about. The wins that SMU had. SMU and Miami, who we're going to want to put both of them in over Alabama because only one of them is going in if Alabama gets in. They lost games they shouldn't have lost, says Cherry Bear. Okay, yeah. But they also have wins over SEC champion Georgia. South Carolina, you're still not getting in. You know why? Because they beat you too. They beat a ranked Missouri team and they beat the shit on the road out of LSU 42-13. That's 4 quality wins. Which one of those wins from SMU or Miami are better? Okay. Yeah. SMU. Oh, USC. Yeah. USC did beat LSU. There you go. Good news. Good news. So that's a quality win for USC, is it not? If that's a quality win for USC in a neutral site, what does that make what Alabama did to them in Death Valley, the real Death Valley? Texas got that ass whipped. Well, it wasn't really whipped, but they did get beat. What was my reason? Because of SEC? No, because Lincoln doesn't show up for big games. He did that night. He just forgot to the rest of the year. Your boy can't even keep kids at home. It's because Oregon has all that money. SC does too. Come on now. We know better. Look, it's not hard. This is not hard. Out of the strength of schedule, what was it that I saw? Let me look at this. I think I pulled it off. Oh, yeah. The Sooner Surge, guys. That was funny. Y'all got me. Who got me in trouble with Sooner Surge? Huh? Who did that? Yeah, looks it up. Yeah, what do you know? Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take it. OU's recruit rankings. Yeah, OU didn't get 25, 26 guys. They got 18. They still are. They've been out recruiting him since you guys got there. We can sit here and play that little game if you want to, as much as you want. But in the end, I think you know the difference. You know the truth. He got left Lincoln's crap. And he's still right up there. I mean, look, it's going to be what it is, but SMU had a better schedule than Miami. Well, they really didn't. Bud. But we can look at it. Let's take a look at SMU's total schedule. I think I have it here. Here we go. Yeah, they really didn't, man. They played Virginia, Clemson tonight. They played Cal, Boston College, Duke. As I said, the best wins are Pittsburgh, Duke, and Louisville. Duke, they won. They won the Duke game in overtime because Duke didn't get their 2-point conversion. Oh, I don't really care about that stuff. I didn't. You know the thing about I'm indifferent to Sooner Surge. I got to tell you, I'm just indifferent to him. Why am I in Alabama's corner? I'm in the corner of wanting to see the best teams in the playoff. That's the corner that I'm in. It's not Alabama's corner. Oh, yeah, they played BYU. They lost. It's a loss. This good losses stuff doesn't mean shit to me. And that's the only thing that SMU has. That's all that SMU has is that they're there. Yeah, until you go look at the rest of the roster, man. He took his. Well, you had 2 5-star quarterbacks left. One of their better receivers, not the best receiver. Marvin Mims was still there, but yeah, they left Billy and they left Danny. And Danny wasn't. I'm just going to put it this way: I love Danny Stutzman, all love for him and everything else, but he didn't get recruited by Brent Venables at Clemson. He would have never played for BV had it not been for BV coming and taking over the program. And tells you a little something about if he really thought that Danny Stutzman was good, how come he didn't take him to SC with him? He led the team in tackles. Ole Miss better resume than SMU. Absolutely. Yeah. By the way, South Carolina, you're still not in. USC ain't got nothing. I don't even know why we're talking about USC. In fact, we're not going to talk about USC. Who is Giovanni Gibson? I'd love to talk about that one. He's the guy that we absolutely should pull out all the stops to go get. We do not want him to go to LSU. Do not want him to go to LSU. Alabama's in 100%. They have to be. If you want the best teams in the playoff, already you screw that up. That was one of the arguments that Kai made on Twitter a little while ago. That goes against their rules if they put them in over SMU. It's not a rule. They said that they want, I've heard them say on the committee that they want to not punish teams for being in the conference championship, which, by the way, I actually don't have a problem with that conversation. What I have a problem with, I got that. I got an idea who it was too. I got an idea who it was too, their legend. The problem with that whole argument is if you really want to put the best 12 teams in, and that's in their about us, what we're trying to do, what the criteria is, it's supposed to be the best 12. Well, they screw that up to begin with because the automatic bid thing. The auto bid is stupid. I get it. You want to give buys to this guy and that. Look, man, if you're not one of the best 4 teams, then you shouldn't get a buy. And whether you're a conference champion or not. But there's no way that you can argue that there's a conference better than the SEC. I don't give a shit how many losses they have in the SEC at the top. What does this mean? What is incentive to engage before October 1st if greedy losers is goal? What does that mean? What does that mean? Ryan, you're going to have to be a little more, we got to be able to understand it. They're just trying to keep they're trying to keep those conference championships relevant. Okay. It's relevant to getting into the playoff. If you win, you're in. If you win, you're in. Which, again, I don't think that auto bids matter. But if you win, you're in. And you could say, and I would tell you this, the top 4, Boise cannot be part of the top 4. They can't. Who's on that Henny? You're on that Henny? Or Ryan is. If fewest losses is the goal, who will watch before October 1st? Well, I guess I understand what you're trying to get at. That okay. I guess I think are you saying before they get into conference play? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yeah, I get that. Tennessee's in. Tennessee's in because Tennessee's in because they didn't get into the conference championship game, though. Here's the thing. You would have punished them for not getting in or for losing if they lost. If they got in and lost, and that would have been by a tiebreaker. Non-conference games schedule no one. No, I get what you're saying. What do you think is happening right now? Some people don't even have a good conference schedule. Indiana, by the way. I don't have nothing against them either. Hey guys, just so we understand this real quick, let's not get into this. I'm not sitting here ripping them. Coop can say what he wants, and he said what he wanted the other day. He's a grown man. They got a little butthurt about it. I don't really give a shit. I think we're different. I think their show's different than ours. I don't watch much of their show. They don't watch much of mine. It's cool. I don't have no problem against them. And you know what? Coop said what he said. He's a grown-ass man. He's allowed to. I don't love the whole fire everybody deal that they do. I don't love it. They got upset that, for trash, one podcast trashing another or whatever on there, but they trash players and coaches all the time. Do I feel bad about it? Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. So it is what it is. They run message boards. They could. I don't hate their show even. I think it's actually fairly entertaining. It's a lot of yelling and shit, but I mean, it's fairly entertaining. But am I going to sit here and apologize? No, I'm not. I know they're upset about it or whatever. It's fine. I had a bit of a talk with them yesterday, but I basically told them what I just said to you. I don't care. I just don't care. Oh, you going to the Liberty Bowl? More than likely, yeah. More than likely. Looks like it. All right. Continuing on. Here's the point. Guys, you cannot sit here and say you want to see the best playoff and then tell me that SMU belongs in there over Alabama or Miami and SMU or whatever. Only one of them is going to get in because there's only way that you can get. It's got to be one or the other. Yeah, here's a great. You know what, Ryan? You're redeeming yourself a little bit at a time. Ole Miss or Bama would be 11-1 in any conference but the SEC. How is this sustainable with Boise, Arizona State buys? Arizona State is fine with a bye. Nobody expected much out of Arizona State. They came in and they went. They lost 2 games, 10-2, won the conference championship in blowout fashion. And that's it. When are we going to play the missing your quarterback argument? Oh, you want to play that one? He'll be back. When does the playoff start? Let's take a look. College football playoff. I'm gonna look at the bracket. Anyways, I thought I'd already brought it up, but I don't see it here. All right. So the rankings were this. Coming into the week, it was Oregon 1, Texas 2. Texas loses tonight. They're probably going to drop probably to around 5th, I would think. 3, 4. You got Penn State 3rd, Notre Dame 4th, Georgia 5th, Ohio State 6th, Tennessee 7th. 8th was SMU. 9 was Indiana. Trash. 10 was Boise. 11 Alabama. 12 Miami. 13 Ole Miss, and then it goes to South Carolina. But really the only ones that matter are the top 12 here because those are the only ones getting in, especially when you already had Boise in it. So the missing your quarterback argument. When does it all start? Let me see the bracket. This website kind of sucks. But let's do about the 12-team playoff format. 12 teams will be 5 conference champions ranked highest by the CFP committee, plus the next 7 highest ranked teams. So that already beats their whole best 12 bullshit. That's 5 highest ranked by the CFP selection committee, plus the next 7 highest ranked teams. So it could be from any conference, but the ranking of the teams will continue to be done by the committee. The 4 highest ranked conference champions will be seeded 1 through 4 and receive a first round bye. The 5th conference champion will be seeded where it was ranked or at number 12 if it's outside of the top 12 rankings. Non-conference champions ranked in the top 4 will be seeded beginning at number 5 because of this. The seeding 1 through 12 could look different than the final rankings. So that's where you're starting to see some of that where we saw on the bracket last week where they had Notre Dame slotted in at 6, but they were number, what did I just say? They were number 4, I believe, was the rank. Yeah. So Penn State lost and Texas lost. Notre Dame should be slotted in on the 5 according to their rankings so far, right? That's where they should be slotted. They probably won't be. I think they stay at 6. Coach thinks they're going to slip all the way to 7th. Either way, they're going to host a home game. But just going back to, let's take a look at when this. Oh, where is it? The playoff. Man, this is a stupid website. Come on. Jesus. Let's do it this way. CFB playoff schedule. Here we go. Much easier. All right, first round is December 20th, which they won't even play in. Second round, the quarterfinals start with the Fiesta Bowl, Peach Bowl, Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl. So that's December 31st is the earliest that they'll play. Now, he doesn't need surgery. It was a separated shoulder. Beck will be fine. He'll be in. He's going to be in. She's not even going to be missing. But if you want to talk about that, their backup was already killing it. And then they took a cheap shot on him, running around there, throwing that shoulder into his head. That was a bullshit hit. And yeah, and when it comes to Texas, we can talk about them, but and all you're going to do is talk about how many losses you got. Well, they don't have a single top 25 win. Well, Alabama has 3 top 25 wins and another one over an 8-4 LSU that rarely loses at home. They beat the hell out of them at home, in their home. Beat the hell out of them. Bama's in the game, man. If they don't put Bama in, it's ridiculous. How do you see? You say another stupid thing. SMU cannot win the playoff. They can't. They haven't beaten a top 25 team. Alabama beat the SEC champion. I mean, it is what it is. Got to see Texas lose. The only 2 OU fans in a packed house. The Texas fans also got to watch it with Billy Bowman and Kobe McKenzie. Is that today you did this, Zofix? Texas Live is cool, huh? That's where me and Coach stayed when we went to Big 12 Media Days. Yeah, they're putting them in. If we're going to say 12 best, hard to say Miami isn't one. This is not a bias. Where's my bias at? How could you say that Miami should be one? Hard to say that they're not one of the 12 best? How is it hard? Who did they beat that makes you think they're one of the 12 best teams in the country? No, you drop SMU on that they didn't play anybody. Who's their best win? We can talk about 2 good losses that they have. We can talk about 2 losses that they have that are close, SMU. That's it. Yeah, it's a tough loss. They happen. And if you're one of the teams that you're fringe for the playoff, fringe top 12, you don't get in. How would you make the same argument and make it well? Again,
Shut up, little dumbass.
Make a good argument for them. Don't just make an argument. Make an argument. A good one. Make one that matters. I can tell you, they've beaten some of the best teams in the country. They've beaten better teams, 4 of them, than any of the teams that Miami or SMU has beaten. Miami didn't beat Miami's best win was Louisville. Okay. Yep. 8-4 Louisville. Next. What else? What else you got? What else you got? Appreciate you being on, man. Big Ten champ. We like this new neighborhood. Yeah. Go on to the top heavy Big Ten and dominate it. Well done, Oregon. Well done. You concern me a little bit with that defensive performance against the kind of mid-level offense for Penn State. But I do really like Oregon. Shout out to them. Don't lose 3 games. Okay.
Shut up! Little dumbass.
So basically, if they were, what do you think they would do in that shitty ACC? What? Wow, there is a lot of people in here. Nobody's giving me no love. Man, you guys are a bunch of freeloaders. Alabama beat Georgia. What about Ole Miss? Who's Ole Miss's best win? Hey, they're better than both of those teams from the ACC. Not going to argue that one. Color me is shocked with the offensive output from the Nittany Lions. Me too. Yep. Schedule some real games against SEC teams, SMU. Yeah. Who else we got? Come on. You guys are going to have to make a decent argument if you're going to do it. That's why they played the games. Nobody expected Alabama to lose to Vanderbilt or OU. Okay, fine. They didn't expect them to. Sure, they didn't. Yeah, they beat. Yeah, that's everybody's favorite non-playoff team, South Carolina. That they want. South Carolina wants you to pay attention to those results, the OU and Vanderbilt results, but just not their results on the field against Alabama and Ole Miss. Ole Miss, by the way, by 24 at home, they got beat. Louisville and Syracuse was Miami's best wins. Wrong. Syracuse beat Miami. Syracuse beat Miami. Miami put a 21 lead on them and then gagged it away. There isn't nobody does, Charles. Nobody does. That's why I have to keep hitting the dumbass button. Seventh best team in the SEC beat our ACC champs, but let's include SMU. Thank you. Ryan Willie, $2. Thank you for the super chat. Sankey will demand Bama gets in. Probably. How are you not demanding it? How are you not demanding it? If the committee sticks with criteria when comparing SMU versus Bama, then Bama's in. They may go in off of emotions, though. They may go in off of people like Dabo, who was telling you about this is our 7th time in 10 years. Good for you. And he's saying that deserves to be a playoff team. He wants it to not look as bad that he tried to blow a huge lead. Okay. What does that mean, though? Who should be in if not? Ryan. Bama brings ratings even if we lose because of all the haters. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to come in here and argue it. Not going to bring faces up, so you can do it. Just come to all you got to do is allow your microphone from your phone on this link right here. Come in. We'll give you 2 minutes to talk about it. I won't even interrupt you. I'll let you talk for up to 2 minutes, and then you're off, and I'll respond. Come on in. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. We got 127 people in here. What should TV ratings or potential matchups matter when seeding teams? Why should they? Well, it is all about money. Let's just be real. I mean, what it should be and what it is. Let's just be real. Alabama should be allowed in so KD can hand Lanning and Sarkisian another L each. That'd be 4 and 3. And, in successive years too. All right. Let me look at this. You guys are killing me. We've already had 600 people and we got 28 likes. Sheesh. It's messed up, folks. Click on the link. Come on in. Let's talk. Fuzzy balls. You know what? This might be one of the better arguments so far. Still not going to work, though. If they leave out SMU, teams ranked 7 to 10 will opt out of their championship games, which will be awful for college football. Okay? Here's the thing. The championship games have to stop mattering so much. The champion can matter. But this is the whole problem with this. I'm telling you, this is actually a pretty decent argument right here. The whole problem with the auto bid is exactly this right here. Just because you won that shitty ACC conference doesn't make you one of the best 12 teams in the country. It don't. Which person in here thinks Clemson's going to win it? Which one of you thinks Clemson's going to win it? Because we all know better. They're not one of the best 12 teams. And neither is SMU. And neither is Miami. Miami doesn't have an argument to make. They haven't beaten anybody worth a damn. You can make the argument that you like Cam Ward. I'll let you have that one. I like Cam Ward. I think he's the best quarterback in the ACC. Pretty easy. But he gets handicapped by his head coach. Oh. This one ain't that hard. Bama gets in for the simple fact that SMU lost to number 17 Clemson. Hey, listen, SMU can still get in, actually. They just can't get in with Miami because you need a fourth SEC team in there. Can't get them both. Got manhandled by an awful Oklahoma team. Okay. Sure. Oklahoma got manhandled by an awful Oklahoma team. I know what you were trying to say. You've been drinking a little bit or smoking tonight. I get it, man. It's late. Late night. Fuzzy balls, that's a fine example. Here's the thing. Who did SMU beat that's good? I'll wait. Who did they beat that was good? Time's up.
Shut up! Little dumbass.
Got to come up with something better. Only one ACC team can make it if Bama does. That's not true. Not true. Let's take a look. I've got the little bracket thing here. 1 second. maybe I do. Oh, man, I love picking on people. You guys make it too easy. So you're just here. The Trojan fight, just keep it on. He just wants to argue. Oh, man. You kind of suck at this argument thing. Having a real argument, you kind of suck at it. You literally just said QB that's 43rd in passing yards shouldn't be in. Where would he be if you added his rushing yards? Because those matter. Do they not? Do they not matter? The rushing yards don't go with it. Touchdowns, all that shit. Yardage. What really matters? Touchdowns or yardage? Trojan fight. You suck at this, dude. Oh, you poor dude. Trash. Hilarious. All right. All right. So let's look. This was last week's, right? What happened to number 10? I must not have pulled him over, but it would have been, let me see. Yikes. Must not have pulled it over somehow. Who was 10 last week? Somebody give it to me. Ryan Whitley just became a member. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you, bud. Good stuff. All right. Don't tell Coach, but Leonard is much worse. Yeah, whatever, bro. You're not helping your case, bro. Only question to be asked, is Bama better than SMU based on all criteria as laid out by the committee? Yes. Yes, they are. All right. I'm going to go back to this one, and we're going to try to continue with this. You got to make an argument that matters, folks. You can't just make an argument based on who you want to see in or who you hate, which is what people that are saying Bama can't be in are. It's just out of being haters. That's really all it is. And I mean, I know it's easy to be a hater. I hate Texas. They're still in. And as far as the committee's concerned, for whatever, I mean, because they were in the SEC and the SEC championship game and the SEC is the best conference, they're going to be in, right? They didn't win any big games. They definitely played a training wheels SEC schedule, but they're in the damn thing. And who's my favorite to win it all? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there you go. CBS Sports is projecting Bama as first team out. They're hoping Bama's the first team out. Tennessee's in. And why is Tennessee in? Because it didn't have to play in the conference championship game. See, here's the thing. Last week, if Texas A&M beats Texas, which they should have, for fuck's sake, dude, you're on the 1 yard line twice and get no points. Shit. Trash. But they would have went in as a 3-loss team. They would have went into the conference championship game, presumably lost and missed the playoff. They would have missed the playoff. Nobody would have had a problem with that. Because damn that SEC. Nobody would have had a problem with that. They're going to have a problem with this one because a 3-loss Alabama is going to get in. Tennessee, maybe they end up with, maybe they stay in, but maybe they don't. You can't just say for sure that they would have. It's easy to hate when you get beat like a FCS school to Oklahoma. Well, but they beat you probably. Are you one of those, Joseph? Are you one of those South Carolina fans? Please tell me you are. Yeah, 4 wins got Alabama in. Talking about losses. Because you don't want to talk about your losses if you're a South Carolina fan. Do you? You're a Miami fan. Who the hell did you beat? Yeah, that was worse. This one's worse. Who'd you beat? Who'd you beat? Okay. Crossland. It's bought. So what's new? What's new? Because so you're telling me that because you hate Alabama as much as you do, that they don't belong in, even though they have 4 quality wins. 4 quality wins, 3 over top 25 teams. One of them is the SEC champion. And they beat South Carolina, who everybody's talking, so it's such a big deal. If Bama was getting in, FanDuel wouldn't have it as a FanDuel. Who makes FanDuel such a? No, that's not what that means. That's not what that means. Do you understand about underdogs and favorites and shit like that? Do you really understand it? Because it doesn't have anything to do with who's better. Almost never. It has everything to do with betting, with action. The line moves based on the action. The only thing that Vegas or FanDuel in this case is trying to do is not be at risk of losing a bunch of money. So they take bets on both sides. And when it gets inordinately more on one side than the other, and they're going to lose a bunch of money, then the freaking line goes different. And that way they can get more people betting the other way. This way, nobody loses. Texas avoided Bama, Ole Miss, LSU, Missouri, and South Carolina. They only faced one top-tier SEC team twice and lost it twice. Yeah. And that's coming from an OU fan who hates calling OU less than tier 1, but, it is what it is. Texas, soft schedule, but legit. Both can be true. Well, I don't know how legit they are. They're not winning the national championship. It will really suck if they do, by the way. The house never loses. Thank you. That's exactly what all that shit means. GG 808. I got to see the first thing you said so that I can come back to it. I'm a fan of Kirby and GA, but they're not what they have been in years past. I think Oregon or Texas takes it. No, Notre Dame's going to take it, or Oregon. Notre Dame or Oregon. I said it here. I'll say it again louder. We've got how many? 120 people in here right now. It's going to be Oregon or Notre Dame. And Georgia be my next one. Just came back to your computer. All right. Why is Texas the 2 seed ahead of? Well, they haven't redone it yet. That was from last week. I got Oregon winning it. Well, it's a concern that they gave up so many yards and points to a mid-level offense from Penn State. Concerning. They don't really have a lot of weapons, and they move the ball, especially running the ball. You're going to get a team that runs the shit out of the ball at you in the playoff. It's a concern. They are undefeated. You got to give them their props, and I do think that the way they're playing, offensively, they can go with anybody. Defensively, up until now, I thought they could too, but that could have just been that, top-heavy, crappy-ass schedule in the Big Ten. How does the SEC not have a single good quarterback? Oh, goody. Remind me again, Big Ten, keep chopping. Who's your team? Are you an OSU fan? Because that's the pot calling the kettle black if you are. Hope Oregon wins it for DG. All love for DG. All love for DG. All love for Mateo Uiagalelei. Yep. Bama beats Bama, bro. Yeah. They did. I'm not sure that they're for real. I'm not positive. I think they're good. I think they're really good. The SEC's overrated. Oh, that's cute, Ernest.
Shut up! Little dumbass.
Silly talk. Rutgers. I know, bad QB play. Keep chopping. I gotta give you love for that one. I do love some Big Dave. How could you not like Big Dave? You being pissy about him because he didn't go to SC, he didn't make his son go to SC? You should blame your boy, your man crush, Lincoln Riley, for that one there, Trojan fight. Blame your man crush.
Shut up! Little dumbass.
You got to be better than that. Who you play matters. Sure it does. I got to give the Big Ten a props about one thing. They were smart. They knew they knew going in who their good teams were, and they limited their exposure to one another, so they can make sure that a team like Indiana, maybe they're going to be pretty good. We're going to make sure that they only really play one good team, and we'll see if they can, have one, maybe two losses. Good chance. Big Dave's behind the California struggles in recruiting. Wouldn't surprise me if he's on Oregon's payroll. Wouldn't you have him on your payroll? You should have him on your payroll, and it wouldn't be a problem. Again, you better start blaming your man crush there. Trojan, no fight. Georgia is my team to win it all, says Sooner Legend. All right. I can see him doing it. They're going to have to play a little better. But where you got a shot is the fact that they've got a lot of experience playing in these big games. And a lot of those teams don't. Keep chopping. Curse it. Are they really good? No. We don't know that. They haven't played anybody but Ohio State, and they got boat raced. It wasn't close. Come on, bud. Georgia beat Kentucky by 1 point. Louisville beat Kentucky by like 30. Okay, cool. Good talk. SEC needs to drop to 4 conference game schedule since games don't matter. Well, look at there. That's a smart statement right there. SJ double O. Rob 440. I don't think anybody said Indiana was going to be good for the season before the season started. I'm not saying that they're good now. Rob, not saying that they're good now. I think that they're good at beating crappy teams. Go look at the strength of schedule. Who's got a tougher strength of schedule? You want to have this argument? You're going to have to start bringing a real argument at some point, Trojan Fight. I know you're just being a hater, but the truth is they've got a tougher strength of schedule than anybody, and they beat 4 quality teams. 3 in the top 25. One of them was the SMU or the SEC champion. SMU didn't do anything. Who did they beat? Tell me who they beat, please. Indiana and SMU are the poster child for everything wrong with a 12-team playoff. Meaning what, Ryan? Meaning what? You're going to have to go further. SJOO. Now see what happens.
Shut up, little dumbass.
This just in, SJOO is a dumbass. Yep. Come on, guys. Ernest Everidge. This just in, Ernest Everidge is a dumbass.
Shut up, little dumbass.
Bama's not getting snubbed. But if you want to make it to where all the conference finalists get in, then you better go to 16. You better go to 16. Auto bids are an issue. ISO Blue, another smart statement. See, sometimes people can say smart things. Apparently, Ernest struggles with it. SJOO, you've been hurting too. You did say something smart finally. SJOO did. Can I get a dumbass bias blast too? Say something stupid, Neilio. Say something stupid. You know I like you, so, you know, it is what it is. What does that mean Bama's getting smoked? I'm not, first of all, if you haven't noticed what's behind me here, I'm not a Bama fan. Because they don't have to. This is see, you were doing so well, and then you came in and said, why would they? Why would they? Do we need somebody want to explain it to them, or should I? Oh, I'll do it real quick because I'm already here. Pretty easy. They don't have to. They make as much money being in their own thing, $65 million from NBC per year to play whoever the fuck they want. And they're guaranteed to get in the playoff. They just don't get to ever get one of the buys. Even if they were number one in the country, they'll never get a buy. But they get 1% of playoff revenue, no matter if they're in it or not, which is about $10 million a year. So now you're at $75 million a year. And then they get another $10 million from Under Armour, 85. They're making as much as the SEC and Big Ten teams without having to be in the SEC or Big Ten. The only way they're going in is if ESPN and Fox decide we never need them in the playoff. You don't get to play in the playoff if you don't go into a conference, and they'll never do that. You know why? Because they get the best ratings. They don't care about that. You've got to think about this for a second. They do get a bye because they don't have to play in conference championship weekend. It's not, look, it is, you can say whatever you want. You think it's cowardice. Okay. You know, there was a lot of years that nobody would let them into the conference, right? There was that anti-Catholic bias thing. Yes, and what's in it for Notre Dame to join the ACC or any conference? Not a freaking thing. I think they actually, what did you say, dumb? The little 12 rules. Yeah, okay.
Shut up, little dumbass.
Money is a given. Money is a given. Well, it's the same thing. That's basically what I was just saying about Notre Dame. They're going to get in because they're going to have the most eyes on them no matter what. Can you imagine if it stays the same as this one from last week, right? You're going to have Alabama going to South Bend in the first week of the playoffs. So the problem is, okay, why is the toughest conference when it only hurts you? Why stay in the toughest conference when it only hurts you? That's the point. If you're going to, and this is the thing, The other problem that you're going to have with this is if you keep on screwing over SEC teams because you hate them, like you hate Alabama because they're always in. I mean, look, I get that part. That the teams that aren't, if you're not a Bama fan, you're sick to death of freaking seeing them in the damn thing. Neilio, you got a split? 99? Thank you, my man. You are the man. Appreciate you. Yeah, if we're lucky, we'll see you again. That's for sure. But I hope we see you again. Yep. Huge money game, right? Huge money game. Huge money game. That's just like it's ridiculous that, you know, SC and Oklahoma aren't going to play the Vegas Bowl. Why not? It's all good, brother. I'm only staying for a few more minutes, probably anyways. We're good. I was just doing this because I wanted to talk about this for a few minutes. We're over 1,000. We're over 1,000, less than 50 likes. Come on, folks. No love. No love. No love. It's terrible. Freeloaders. People hate the ACC. People hate the SEC because they win it, not because they get in. More fans need to become self-aware. No. That's what I'm saying. They're mad because they're sick to death of seeing Alabama or Georgia or LSU, whoever, win the damn thing because they've won 9 out of 13. 9 out of 13. Michigan won the last one, and Ohio State won the first one. In between, the Big Ten ain't done shit, but gets smacked around by, you know, Clemson a few times. Bama versus Notre Dame. Who you got? I'm going to save that for a show for later on before we do that. I'm going to pick that one yet. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a really good game. Bama might actually do better than expected because they would run Milroe more in the cold weather and not throw as much. Here's the thing. If you let Jalen Milroe beat you with his legs, he's going to kill you with his arm deep. You can't let him get out. If you can play into a playoff and conference championship, you can sure as hell play out of it too. That's the cost of being a mid-ass conference. Thank you, Max Hall. And we need one through. Let me get an applause. Good stuff. The Bama Invitational. Yeah, you can call it whatever you want. They've won a bunch of them. Six of them. And they've been to more. Well, how many did they go to? How many playoffs they've been to? Is it 10 or 11? Something stupid. Who's more likely to be blown out? SMU, Clemson, or Indiana? Well, I'm going to have to look at this. Let me see something real quick. I guess it stopped sharing it. Okay. Let me find it again real quick. We'll pull it back up. Come on, sucker. Oh, yeah, it was going to be Georgia and Indiana. Yeah, Indiana probably pretty likely. But Clemson is going to be in instead of SMU, or, well, they'll be the 3, which means that they'll either play Alabama or Notre Dame if it stays the same as last week, right? Let's just say it stays the same as last week. Let me share this one more time. I got the other one up. All right. So this is going to stay. It should be Oregon. Now, Boise State ought to back out of there. It should be, they should be in the 12th seed, and Arizona State should be in front of them. without a doubt. So you should swap those two there on the bottom, one for the other. Ohio State and Tennessee likely stay there. I can't really imagine it changing a whole lot. Georgia's going to move up in place of Texas to the 2 or 3, whichever goes. I don't know which one it'll be for sure, but I would say probably going to be. My question is how far did they drop Texas? I could see them only dropping them because they went to overtime. I could see them only dropping them to 5, which would move Penn State to probably either 6 or 7. And of course, Notre Dame would be either 6 or 7, staying where they are, or they could be the 5 seed. I think they should be the 5 seed. They probably won't be, but we'll see. Maybe they stay at 5. Oregon's definitely the number 1 team. Then honestly, Clemson has to be in there, and so does Arizona State. Boise State has to be the 12 to me. They got to be the 12. They haven't beaten nobody either. Their only claim to fame is that they've beaten. You don't think Boise State will drop. Why do you not think Boise State will drop? It's not about whether maybe they don't, but why not? Should they not? Should they not be? Boise State's only thing that they've done is in the second week of the year, they played a close game to, at that time, fairly struggling Oregon. It's stupid if they don't drop them out. Arizona State would beat the shit out of Boise State. The absolute shit. Their best win is they've beaten UNLV twice. They're lucky to be in it at all. Yep, there, Ryan, see. If they drop Penn State to be next to OSU, they will put OSU above Penn State because of the head-to-head. They have to have a team between them. Well, I'm not sure what you're saying. So Ohio State could move up. Yeah. Well, I think everybody thinks that Ohio State's a lot better than they've played at times. But I don't know. ASU beat Penn State too. I don't think much of Penn State at all. Charles Crows fly high. What did Boise State do to drop? What did they do to get where they were? See, you're just talking just to talk. You're still.
Shut up!
You're not making. You don't ever really make an argument, Trojan Fight. That's the problem with you. You don't ever make a real argument. You just say silly shit like that. You have to be smarter than that. What did they do to get where they were? You know why they're there where they are is because they got a running back in Ashton Janti that killed it this year, had a great year in the Mountain West Conference. He ain't going to win the freaking Heisman either. The fact that that's been a conversation this week is silly shit. ASU, Boise, SMU, and Indiana all get smoked in the playoff first round, says GG808. Boise, yeah, they would lose as the 12 for sure because they're playing the 5 on the road. SMU, they won't even. At best, SMU could be 11. That's where they got Bama. That means you're going on the road. Indiana, right now, they have them at 10. So, yeah, they're going on the road. Yeah, they're all getting whipped. Arizona State is going to host the winner of a game because they better anyway. They've got to be top 4. If you don't think that Arizona State, with what they've done, Trojan Fight, you're insane. He had over 1,000 yards receiving and interceptions. Dude, he was the best player on the field every week, and that's what the fucking Heisman is. It's the best player in the game. Period. End of game. Stop it. Him going and playing a Mountain West schedule does not equate to playing the same schedule as what even Colorado did. Period. He's the best player on the field every week. You're a dumbass. You really are a dumbass. Yeah. Big whoopty shit. Their losses. We're talking about them losing games. Talking about them losing games. Clemson's best win. What's Clemson's best win? Is it SMU? Is it SMU? And you can give them, I guess, credit for Syracuse's win over Miami. I don't care about what you're saying, Trojan Fight. I don't care about what you're saying. You're saying stupid shit. Nobody cares. You're not talking about anything that matters. It's not up to him to throw him the ball. You know what I mean? Dumbass. You got to be smarter. I picked Arizona to finish last in the Big 12 this year. Yeah, they do that a lot. They always, they seem to pick a bunch of pretty good teams to finish last. The year before, they've had West Virginia going last. I think they ended up finishing fourth last year. So, but the ACC, yeah, look, come on. The ACC is not good, guys. And look, this is no shade against some of my boys that are ACC guys. JJ Kitchen, by the way, love JJ. Don't agree with the take of his. I'm hoping he'll come on with this Tuesday night because we got to talk about it. I don't agree that he thinks that it's getting more parity is coming. No, it isn't. And I'll tell you why. Because the revenue share that's about to start is going to cut into some people's NIL. Others, it will not. Others, it will not. Because you have to come up with a 20.5 million, I think is what it is, to give to the players. That's a drop in the bucket for an SEC program, a Big Ten program. And then when you start talking about Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Notre Dame, USC, what is USC's excuse? They don't have one. Michigan, Ohio State. Look at Michigan dropping bags because they can. And everybody's freaking out about it, but they're talking about they're going to be paying $55 million within the next 2 years. Who in the Big 12 can afford that? Nobody. Because they're only getting, what, $30 million from their TV deals in the Big 12. About half. I guess they'll end up with 50 once all that money from the playoff plus whatever else, the basketball stuff. They're talking about 50 net is what they end up with. That's still going to put them about all the way about 50 behind, 40 to 50 behind. And you're saying, okay, well, what about this whole revenue share? Okay, cool. Everybody has to do the revenue share, and that's going to be locked in at a certain number. So right now it's 21 million, basically say 21 million. It says 20 to 22. So what happens is that's all well and good. So K-State can afford that. And I bring up K-State because, Tim Fitzgerald and I talked about this and where their money was at. They make $100 million a year. Up until this point, they've made $100 million in the last few years. That's their revenue for their athletic department. They pay out 90 of that. So they were already going to have to find a place to come up with the other 10 million just to pay the rev share. Has nothing to do with NIL. And the NIL is going nowhere, folks. It goes nowhere. So the idea that you actually are going to see more parity continue to go, you're not. Because once the revenue share gets here, all that does All that does is say, yeah, that's the minimum requirement to play in this league. Is you got to do that. Now, guess what? You got to pay your NIL stuff. So the folks with the most money can afford to do that, and it'll never be these smaller brands. It just won't be. They're already doing that. Didn't you just see what happened with what's his name? The kid that was going to LSU and decided to go to Michigan instead because they dropped $12 million on him? No, there's not going to be an NIL cap. You know why? Because it's what you can make off of you. NIL is name, image, and likeness. So what you can make off of endorsing products or whatever the hell. And they'll never, ever be able to cap that. And that was already been said by the courts. You can't touch it. There's nothing you can do. And the NCAA already said we ain't even trying to anymore. No, there won't be an NIL cap. Never. And by the way, guys, if you thought that they really wanted it to be, if you really thought they wanted it to be you want there to actually, do you think the people at the top of college football that are in charge of college football want it to have parity? Because they don't. It's never been about parity, guys. I don't give a shit what they tell you. It hasn't been. If they move to 16 because Alabama doesn't make it, it will prove the SEC are a bunch of crybabies. Y'all should be grateful you have 3 bids. It's how awful they've been this season. Oh, gee, man.
Shut up!
You gotta have.
Dumbass.
You better come in with better arguments than that. You better come with better arguments with that. And nobody cares what you're for. They don't care what you're for. It's about what's real. It is always going to be pay for play. And guess what? What is your problem with players getting played? That's another dumbass statement. You really are a dumbass, Trojan Fight. You really are. Am I a mind reader? I might be. What do you think? What did I read off your mind? The SEC. The SEC, all those teams in the SEC have played much tougher schedules than anybody in the ACC or even the Big Ten for that matter. That's what I said. I was saying that earlier. The smart thing that the Big Ten did was it knew who its better teams were, and it limited their exposure to each other. They limited their exposure to each other so that they couldn't take themselves out. Ooh, keyboard warrior. I'm here. I've got my name right and my face right here in front of you. You go by Trojan Fight. What's your real name? Click that link and come in with your face and tell me your real name or shut up. Yeah, they have. They've limited their exposure to each other. Which one of them played all of the other ones? None of them. Think about it. Penn State only played Ohio State during the season. That was the best team they played. They went on the road to SC. That was limiting it. They didn't have to play Oregon. Did they play Michigan this year? I don't think they did. My real name is Don't Get Caught Slipping at one of these games. Real talk. Oh, I'm so scared of you, buddy. You ain't shit. You ain't going to do shit. Talk big game. So scared of you, Trojan Fight. You got a big ass mouth and you're scared to even put your face out there. Anybody can talk behind a freaking fake ass screen name. Anybody can do that. I sit here and do it right in front of you. Everybody knows who I am. Don't get caught slipping. You think I'm just by myself, or you think I don't have a way to protect myself? I ain't scared of shit, just so you know. When 12, Clemson lost to SC by 3 points. Clemson moved down to 17 down 5. 8 SMU losing to 17. Clemson by 3 points is much worse. So SMU should move down at least 5. I don't know about that. Yeah. Trojan's a bitch. I just said it. You're a bitch. You ain't shit. Don't get caught slipping. Fucking come in here making threats. A lot more penalty now with NIL. It's not Bama every year. That's why Saban retired. Not exactly, Keith. Not exactly. Yes, he is. Ass clown, bitch, whatever. You know what we call people like you that won't put their name up there and talk a bunch of shit behind no face or name? They're Trojan fight. Pussy. That's what we call them. At least back in the day. they chose Frost again over Lincoln Riley. Wow. But they won with Scott Frost. It makes sense. I don't know. Thank you there, Charles. Appreciate it. Y'all didn't kick him out, did y'all? Did somebody kick him out? No, he's still there. I'm talking about you. Saying you're a pussy. What are you going to do about it? All right. I hope you would come on and find me at one of these games. Go ahead and do that. I ain't hard to find. I even tell everybody where I'm going to be. So roll up. Riley will be a quality control analyst in 6 months. Yep. I'll just say yep to that, Charles. Who's the best coach in the playoff outside of Kirby? There's some good ones in there. I don't know. You guys drop yours in there. Who's your best coach in there that's left that'll be in the playoff? Who's in? Who's out before we call today? Yeah, I'm about to call today. But who's your best coach in the playoff? Let's see. Let's go through it. I think Lanning's a good coach. I wouldn't call him great yet. Yeah, Ryan Day. I mean, he's got a lot of wins, but yeah, you can't call him the best. Hadn't won it yet. Same with Sark. I mean, Sark's won now twice. He's won 10 wins twice. He's in the playoff again for the second year in a row. But they had a training wheel schedule, so I don't know. But I mean, he's up there. He's right up there with them. I like Marcus Freeman a lot. I think he's turning into a hell of a coach. They recruit absolutely well. I think he's still kind of feeling his way around. It's probably yeah. I don't give a shit. What you're talking about. Fuck you. Is Texas really back? No. Kalen DeBoer. Yeah, of course, Kalen DeBoer. What was that? Yeah. They're good because they're going to be in the playoff. They're going to be in. And I guess they're going to put SMU in. I guess they're going to put SMU in. So, yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I like Rhett Lashley quite a bit. Now, they haven't, again, they shouldn't be in above Alabama. But SMU's a damn sight better than they've been in a long time. I like Rhett Lashley quite a bit as a coach. I don't know how long he stays there. But we'll see. They got a lot. And here's the thing about SMU is they have a lot of money behind them. They're not even getting paid to be in the ACC. They got money behind them. If they do win and, jump in, no, SMU doesn't mean no Bama. No, it doesn't. The only way that it was going to be no Bama was because there was going to be 3 ACC teams in, and they were going to put 3 SEC teams in. You were going to have the same amount. The argument is either you can go ahead and put both of those finalists in, but then you don't get Miami, and Miami now has 2 losses as well. So that would have been, you got to go back 2 weeks for that to be what we're talking about. No? Okay, look at it, how it is. All right, so you've got Bama in now, along with 2. One. Well, maybe not. You got SMU. They don't. They're just showing 1 then. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a good question. I don't know. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They got 4 from the Big Ten. So this is right now you're showing 4 from the SEC. So you would have Bama, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee. Then you've got 1 from the Big 12, 1 from the Mountain West, 1 from the ACC. I think you're right. I think it has to be one or the other. Wow. Because of Indiana. Yeah, because of that 4th one. SMU bumps Bama, though. SMU doesn't bump Bama. It would be. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think that that's the whole point. And somebody said it in here earlier. That if you're mid-level and it's like you got to consider the playoffs kind of being in effect at the moment right here. For instead of saying if you make it to your conference championship game, both of those teams should get in. I don't love that. I don't love that. So I don't care that the committee said what they said. Right? I think that, yes, we're going to give credence to your conference championship game if you're in a power conference. The 4 conferences that are power conference, we're going to give credence to it. But let's not get it twisted and say just because you make that championship game means that you're one of the best teams in the country, because it's not the case. If you don't win that game, you're not guaranteed to get in. I don't love auto bids at all. Yeah, but Brock, SMU favored by FanDuel for the odds. That doesn't matter. That's on betting. We just talked about that a few minutes ago too. That's on action. That means that people are betting and when you start getting a lot of bettors that don't normally bet on things like that, they do that they're doing that on emotion. If you look at the 3, it's not close, guys. I'll just put it to you this way. It isn't close. Miami's best win, toss up, Florida, Louisville, Duke. The best win they got. They don't even have a win over Clemson. They didn't play them. Same with SMU. They lost to Clemson tonight. Their best win, toss up, Louisville, Duke, or Pitt. It isn't kind of close because when you look at Alabama, they've got wins over Georgia, South Carolina, Missouri, and LSU on the road, and they beat the shit out of LSU there. So I don't mind that you put credence on your conference championship. You should, in the instance of because it's funny that you're saying the same. A lot of us are sitting here saying, well, you can't if you make it about losing your conference championship, then nobody's going to want to be in the conference championship game. Okay, well, what about the Big 12? You didn't hear the Big 12 saying that shit, and everybody knew that the Big 12 wasn't getting 2 in. They were getting one or the other. So you had to win that game today. Why isn't Ohio State in there? They could pay their way in, probably, yeah. Bama has a bunch of good wins. They've got a bunch of them. They've got 3 top 25 wins and a win over 8-4 LSU at LSU, where they don't lose. That lifetime, they're over 73% at home. Lifetime. And at nighttime, it's probably closer to like 85, 90. According to your model, surviving Nevada's scare is better than beating UGA, LSU. Wait, who are you talking to, Ryan? That's correct. Same thing that really kind of what happened with the Big Ten. The Big Ten was smart. They limited exposure there. Really, the SEC did the same thing for Texas. Texas bought their way into that. You knew, guys, I was going to say some shit like that now, didn't you? Look, Texas had a training wheel schedule. If we're looking at who has people beat, you could say that with Notre Dame, Penn State, and Texas. Well, Notre Dame has beaten Louisville as well. Notre Dame beat Texas A&M on the road. Not a top 25 win anymore, but they were in the top 10 at the time. It doesn't look as good, but they only have 1 loss. And, look, I feel like USC should have won a lot more football games this year. I think Lincoln Riley fucked them out of that. I don't see where you are, Bishop Frank. You're not in the studio. Notre Dame should be in. To me, Notre Dame should be in. And I'm going to tell you, they've got 1 loss, and it was a bad loss. It was in week 2, coming off of a big win on the road at College Station. Tough place to play. And they handled them. Their defense is legit. Their offensive line, legit. They've got 2 of the best running backs. Their combination of running backs is as good as anybody's, and that includes Ohio State. They can win the whole thing. So have fun with that argument. I agree that their schedule lacks quite a bit to be desired, and Coach knows that I think that. I've told him that. Hell, we had a big ass argument about Oklahoma's schedule last year, and then we turn around and look at this shit for Notre Dame. It is what it is. Indiana's got a shit schedule. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Somebody did. Texas would have at least 4 losses with an average SEC schedule. Well, they snuck by Vanderbilt. They snuck by Arkansas. Hell, Mississippi State was in it for a while, till right at the end. SMU, Bama should both be in, and Texas should be out. Well, that'd be great for us Oklahoma fans, but they're not going to knock Texas out. But again, here's the thing. If you really believe that any of these conferences, let's say that nobody in here is going to sit here and tell me that the Big 12 is as good as the SEC. Why would you tell me that the ACC is? Because we know better. Yeah, but look. Yeah, no, that's not. I think you go to 16 and forget the AAC, MAC, Mountain West, and all that. Bishop Frank, you don't have the link for this one. There's no way you do. I don't see you in here. Hold on. Oh, there you are. What's up, Bishop?
What's going on? I see you doing the late night run.
Late night.
For sure. Go ahead, keep cooking. I'm
No,
listening.
I was just saying, that's the bias. You could say the same thing about OU. He's supporting anything that hates Texas. Yeah, I hate Texas. Everybody knows that shit. Trojan Fight, why don't you go away? You don't have anything to say except you're in here talking shit and like you're going to catch me slipping. What I wish you would. So have something to say or shut the fuck up. Damn.
Gumbo.
I get sick and tired of this asshole. I really do. I'm going to block your ass from coming in here.
So what are we talking about?
Stupid, dumbass punk. Are we talking about who belongs in? Should it be SMU, Miami, or should it be Alabama? It's not hard to answer this question if you look at the reality of it.
I don't know how the committee.
You can hate on Alabama if you want to, and
right,
I get
right.
it. And people get sick of seeing it.
Right.
But
I think, man, strength of schedule. I don't know if since SMU played them strong in the second half, does that count for anything? Since Clemson actually won, to have them both in, or do you keep Alabama in?
I think it was
the strength of schedule is stronger for Alabama.
I look at this as an extension of the playoff. I think you're either in or you're not at this point. I think one of them had to be out. Clemson screwed it up by losing in the last week of the season, but then Miami turned around and gagged it away too. So they're out. To me, they're out. Miami's best win. I'll just say that we'll go through this one more time. Miami's best wins, you can toss them up. Their best win is either Florida 7-5, 8-4 Louisville, or Duke.
Right.
It was 9-3. Duke actually had the best record out of any of them. SMU, their best win was Duke, Pitt, or Duke, Pitt, or Louisville. Norman, what are you doing?
Well, we already know Alabama, their strength of schedule and who they beat supersedes, but then it's predicated on what the committee views toward the end. It seems like they weigh more toward the end of the season than the front of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, they might be leaning toward SMU getting in.
That's stupid if they do, because if you look at Alabama, they've got wins over Georgia, South Carolina, Missouri. Those are all in the top 25. And then they beat an 8-4 LSU team that would kill any of those teams in the ACC. And they beat the shit out of them on the road.
I agree.
It has to be
the thing is
a bullshit ass. It's a bullshit system, which it already think it is.
I know. And now you speaking facts when you're talking about that, because if we're still not able to see a clear cut, then it's still flawed and it still needs some work.
Oh, it needs work.
So,
they went to be 32. We'd be playing games till March. No shit.
Yeah.
I think you got to go to 16. And here's why, because we've gotten into this point where everybody thinks that they got to be in. You got to have everybody in, and I don't think it's not. It just doesn't make sense to think that you can, though. But ACC is no better than Conference USA. They might be better than Conference USA, but only slightly. No, they're better than Conference USA. They're better than Conference USA, but they're just not that good, and they're top heavy. Now, I would tell you that I think that the Big Ten is top heavy as well. But I think that their top heavy is a lot better than what the ACC is. Right? Their top heavy is better than what it is at the top of the Big 12 now.
Yeah. My only thing with Bama is how do committee look at us and Vandy beating them, knowing our records.
Yeah, Bama beat some good teams, but they lost to 2 poor teams. The 2 teams they lost to that you're talking about, Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, are both in the bowls. Those are quality losses, if you want to call them quality losses. I think. Look, and if you look at historically, Oklahoma doesn't lose a lot of home games. Now, say what you want. How do you help me make money, Ryan? Thank you, man. You got to hit the like button. Got to make sure you hit the like button. Get this out there.
Doubt. Hey, and
now
it's
we're
some
at
merch.
50 likes and we've had almost 1,500 views. You can always go into our merch store. I'll put it in here. It's ofmedia.us/pod.
Now y'all know he's doing a late night. Get the likes up. Come on, make this the highest rating. Come on now. You know we're good. You know Bishop's good for it.
For some views, man. I'll have to go with this. Start early on.
Hey, we're burning the midnight oil. Hey.
Yeah, for sure. Clemson wouldn't be any better than LSU in the SEC. They wouldn't. Probably, yeah, I think if they'd be lucky if they were that good. I don't think they beat LSU.
Okay, so who's your 4? Oregon.
The top 4. Oregon, Arizona State because it's conference champion,
right?
And then obviously Georgia instead of Texas because they beat them. And then my 4th one would be the conference champion. It'd be Clemson. So you got Clemson, Oregon, Georgia, Arizona State.
Okay, so they get the buys. So who do we have left out of that? So then Texas would wouldn't Texas go to 5 then? You think?
Probably. Let's see. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do this over here. I can actually share this with you guys, and I'll we'll build it together. And then I'm gonna get out of here.
Man, I was surprised. I was like, I looked at it, got a notice. I'm like, what? Jason still
Yeah, Coach Smook was in there doing it. I jumped in with him, and I still felt like I wanted to talk some more.
Got you. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
When I decided I wanted to continue on.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong. You got the juice flowing.
2. Indiana is definitely not up there. Let's see. Now number 4 would be Arizona State, right?
How he's doing that? Get the likes up. Let's run it up. Come on now.
Here. All right.
Run it up.
It's right here, right? All right.
Yeah. He came on because he loves the college game, and you guys do too. If you're here with us, make it count. Make the algorithm recognize that we love the game. Run it up.
Put that one in there. All right, Clemson would be. Honestly, I think I would probably have Arizona State over Clemson. Just being real.
Okay. So then Arizona State would be 3. You got Oregon, Georgia.
That's your top 4. So then it goes to number 5 school. I honestly think that I'm going to put you what I think is going to happen. I think that Texas probably goes to 5. I think that Notre Dame stays at 6.
Okay.
And I think that Penn State has to drop to at least 7th. Although, who is the next best one? It's probably going to be Ohio State because Penn State lost that game and they lost to Ohio State.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that goes, all right. So now we go to number 8. Yeah, I think it'd be Penn State probably. Number 9, Tennessee.
Yeah.
10. Yeah. I mean, I think if we're being real, I think Alabama's better than any of these teams left.
Then put them in.
Yeah, and I think it should be. Now, would I have a problem if they did this? No. I know that. But only because I mean, I think this would be a fun first round matchup, right?
Okay. What is their first criteria to make it in? Is it strength of schedule?
Strength of schedule. Strength of schedule is up there.
Okay.
Boise will get a bye over Clemson or Arizona State. No, they won't.
No.
They're going to the 12.
Okay, Boise's not in an actual Power 4, correct?
What's that? Say that again.
Boise is not part of the Power 4.
They're not. But it only goes to out of the. You can have the highest ranked Group of 5 conference champion could move. It's the top 5 conference champions get in, right? But
right. So I thought Boise would be 12.
They could say they should be. That's who they should be. But they're if the committee says that Boise is one of the best 4 champions.
Oh, got you.
Then they can get in.
Got you.
So it could end up now. Look, that I don't think that you can take ASU out, and I think you could take out Clemson, but I know they won't. But
because ASU is the Big 12.
Here's what it probably is.
Okay.
ASU back to 12, which is bullshit, but that they could do it, and they would put Clemson at 3 because for whatever reason they think the ACC is good, and then you've got who are we missing? Yep, SMU's out. This leaves SMU out of the game now, and SMU has to be out according, in my opinion. They blew it. I believe that this idea, and I think that they misspoke when they said this because they didn't say this about the Big 12 championship game.
Right.
They didn't say that they were talking about that you shouldn't be punished for losing your conference championship game. Yes, you should. You lost. Now I understand what the concern is that then now you're going to make it to where schools don't want to play for a conference championship, or maybe they won't have conference championship games anymore. Whatever.
Well, that's on them to fix it.
That is on them.
We're just going off of what we got right now.
And I would tell you this though. Here's the thing: when you're at the bottom half of that, if you're not the Big 10 and you're not the SEC, the chances are the second team in that would not be a playoff team unless they win the damn thing.
Right.
Who was gonna? Yeah, Indiana hadn't beaten anybody, but they're gonna get in because they're a Big 10 team.
Okay.
Right? And because they only have one loss. You can say the same thing about Notre Dame if that's what you want to do. Notre Dame is going to bring eyeballs to the table. They're also one of the better teams in the country. I think people sleep on them because they lost to NIU in week 2. Okay, they've been great since. Trojan Fight didn't want to tell you this, but he was just sure that the USC's sorry asses were going to beat them, and they didn't. And that was at home. Hey, Mom.
See, yeah. I ain't the only one. I see you, Mama.
I was losing my shit there, Non. Indiana should be out. They're not out. They're going to be in. I'm being realistic here. It's going to be SMU that's out. Okay, Miami and SMU are both out.
So Bama's in.
To me, it is. They are.
Yeah. I agree with it.
If they leave them out, they're screwed.
Well, if they leave them out, then they're going against their strength of schedule. So they set the criteria. We're just going by it. Yeah, that's possible, Ryan. Indiana might drop, but
shut up. Sick of that ass clown. All right, sorry, not sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I ain't tripping. You're doing a late night. This is late night on, baby. This is how we get down.
I'm dealing with it. Do you think they put a team that sat at home, wasn't good enough to make a conference championship, over a team that made a conference championship but lost? Yeah, because I think that in the end, and I understand the argument you're trying to make here. Okay, I understand the argument that you're trying to make, but you're looking at this in terms of should they do it? Probably not. And I'm going to tell you, Indiana has the worst resume.
Oh, no ifs.
Trash resume, right? They played nobody. The best win they got is Nebraska. And Nebraska was kind of mid.
And see that
they have.
And you know what, you guys in the chat, that's the problem is it's not a perfect system because some of these
No
teams
equal schedules.
Right, because their schedules were the way they were, the strength of schedule is not strong. So a lot of them have, 10 to 11 wins, but who do they play? Who is their best? Who is their best win and who is their best loss?
Yeah, and actually, if you look at it, the truth is because they are the conference champion, they don't have to be 12. It would be 12 if you're a group of 5.
Right, that's what I was saying. I was leaving the
up as far as
for the group of 5.
I think Arizona State, I don't know that Notre Dame wants any part of them right now. I don't think anybody wants any part of Arizona.
No, nobody wants.
Just so we know.
Scotty Bull is just.
He's a difference maker, right? He's a kind of a game wrecker type. There's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, he's him, and he runs like it too.
Right.
You better bring your whole lunch pail and a headache medicine because that's going to be an all-day affair.
He's going to try to run right through your ass all day. All day.
Yeah.
Dude's a dog, man. Straight up dog. Yeah. Look, it's 40. See, and I agree with you, Ryan. You say Purdue by 40 is not a needle mover. They're not. Scatteroo is a dog. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, they got a good quarterback too.
Right.
They had lost that receiver. It didn't even matter. They just moved on to the next guy. And they beat the brakes off of Iowa State, which Iowa State really, I like their quarterback. Their receiver situation is really good. Let the computers pick them. Okay, but there's going to be biases built into that as well. And look, I don't really have a problem with the computers, but they're not a whole lot off of what we've seen. I think who had it up there? Who was it that had that up there this week? That one of the guys on Twitter.
What's that?
Talking about that, right?
Yeah.
So he was saying that the computers would have had like a couple switched, but only by a little bit. It wouldn't be a huge. Oklahoma, not all championships are equal. By your logic, Army should be in there, but not because they played in a bum conference. You're talking to Ganja Grower? Okay. Now, see, and that's okay. That is a good argument too. I'd say that too, because Army, they're one loss. Everybody talked about how really good they are. They're hating on Notre Dame, right? But you're talking about how really good Army was, right? People are loving on Army,
right,
and rightfully so. I got love for Army. I'm not hating on them, but I would just say this. Oh man, that's not it. Yeah, it is. I would just say this. Notre Dame beat the dog shit out of them.
Yeah, but they got more Jimmys and Joes.
Of course they do. But the point is, we know that people can say that they're just in because they're Notre Dame and not because they're good, and they shouldn't have lost that.
Right? Oh no, Notre Dame.
I mean? That's what I'm saying. There are people that are saying that. There's people trying to say that Notre Dame doesn't belong in even with one loss.
No, they do. They do.
I agree. But not everybody does.
And that's all right. And that's their prerogative. But hey, we're just predicting come tomorrow is all gonna be all done.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I saw that Clayton Smith, he got off tonight. He was creating havoc for ASU.
Bro. He's really good, man.
Yeah.
Notre Dame has earned the 6th seed. 5 or 6. I think they're at least going to be in the 6. I don't know if I love this prediction so much. I'll be honest with you. We'll wait and see. I think that this is the teams that are going in though. And I'll tell you this, the number 4 seed should be Arizona State. If they don't put Arizona State in, they put Boise State instead, that's bullshit. Okay. In fact, I'm not going to even put that prediction up there. I'm going to lose that one.
I'm putting ASU.
Boise ought to be out of that. They ought to be the 12, and you ought to move them in. And exactly. Look, if you were going to move, the reason that I put Clemson where I put them is because I think that there would be a bias towards Clemson because, like Dabo said, we've been in 7 out of 10. Okay, great, good for you. Right. Oh, you didn't make it so I could really care who's in. I just want to see good games, no blowouts. No, I agree with you. And look, I understand.
I ain't mad at you. I am not mad at you.
I ain't mad at you for that either. And that's what I'm saying. Who's the best teams? the best teams are the ones on that I could add right here. I'll just show them to you. The best teams aside, and I would say that this is aside from Boise State, are right here.
There you go.
And from Indiana. I would keep Indiana out of it as well. But that's me.
Okay.
I think if we were putting the best, and I'll tell you another team that I'd probably like to see, but I think that they screwed themselves out of it, and I don't want to hear it. Miami, gotta go.
Miami, yeah, I was gonna say
Miami. If they're in it, they're a pain in the ass because of their quarterback. Because they might, I mean, they've got a top level quarterback in the country.
Yeah.
So they might give you a hard time, but they could just as easily blow it, as we saw the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think Miami did themselves a disservice.
Yep, killed themselves.
Yeah.
This shit is harder than a 14 playoff. When I heard about the 12 team, I thought it'd be easier to pick teams. It's not. Well, the reason that it isn't, though, and I like that. Good call. They're out. I mean, Miami's out for sure. But I think that if you were to say who's a team that you probably wouldn't want to play, because of their quarterback situation, you don't want to play them.
Yeah. Oh no doubt.
But if Army has a stronger strength of schedule than SMU, then they should be in over them because they won their conference. They did win their conference, right? Okay. Well, obviously, they probably don't have a better strength of schedule. They're in the AAC now.
Yeah, I think so.
AAC, yeah. SMU's in the ACC.
Yeah, they're in ACC. Isn't Army in the?
It's better than the AAC. It's better than the AAC.
Yeah,
American Athletic Conference.
That's who the AAC.
Yeah,
is where the academies are.
Yep.
So,
and really, in what I said, so Navy had like just 2, right? Bama's not out of the playoffs. They're not. I know you want them. You probably want them to be there.
He's laughing.
Want them to be, but they're not. No, Clemson's going to be in. Clemson's going to be in, Mom. They're the paw print over there at number 3.
Yeah.
SEC dogs. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
no doubt. No doubt.
Know that Alabama deserves to be in. Then you know that. Come on, man. But
here's what I will say.
I was a Dogs fan today. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, all I know is I saw a team that lost their starting quarterback and still found a way. Competitive depth is real for Georgia. Because when you're able to go with your second team quarterback and still win a game, you're well put together.
Facts. And he got knocked out on a cheap shot, and then they brought in the dude with his arm was hanging off his shoulder, handed the ball off, and they couldn't stop him. They were one-dimensional. You knew a run was coming. Couldn't stop it.
Hey, that's the worst feeling when you know it's coming and you still can't stop it. That's just like just opposing and taking your will from you.
The missing the conference championship means you're not a good team. Has already been proven wrong twice. Yeah, I mean, missing the conference championship and not meaning you're not in. Okay, I think I know what you're saying. I'm gonna tell you this. Which one of those teams that we're talking about, if we're talking SMU, Miami, let's see, you could even say Boise State, whatever. Which one of those teams is going to beat Alabama? I'll wait. Which one of those teams?
What'd you say?
Who's going to beat them? I'll even add Clemson. Is Clemson going to beat Alabama? Fuck no. Is Indiana going to beat Alabama?
No, we didn't regret. Oklahoma did not regret going to SEC. We needed to move up.
No. Nope. None of those teams are beating them. We're talking about these bottom teams. Arizona State be the only. I mean, they might. They'd have hell with it though. But I mean, look, I think everybody's gonna have a hard time with Cam Scatterboo. They're gonna be a pain in the ass. SMU's got to be out. They're out. So is Miami.
So then that's all the answers.
You know, they should have. To me, that's what I was getting at. I think that, let me finish this thought. I need to make sure I finish it this time. I think that the committee they misspoke when they said that we don't want to punish you for being a conference champion or for being in the conference championship game. Now, I know what they were talking about, but to me, I think you shouldn't have said that. What you should have said was, look, your resume may be, because of your strength of schedule, your resume may say you better get to the conference championship game and win it.
Yeah.
Because to me, the only way that Clemson gets in, they're not in if it wasn't for Syracuse coming back from 21-0 down.
Yep.
They're not even in because they wouldn't be in the conference championship and they wouldn't have had an opportunity to beat SMU. That's the chaos that ended up happening in the ACC. They went from 2 weeks ago having 3 teams slotted in to really should be one. And is going to be one. You have to win the games. So if you're in that championship game and you don't have to win it, then why the hell would you care?
Facts.
Look, I think that and this is why they're going to end up having a 16-team playoff.
Oh, yeah, no ifs.
No doubt.
But
and that's
we
fine
all agree.
But the automatic bid shit is crap. And I agree with you on that, Ryan Kicklighter. I agree. Big 12 wouldn't necessarily be out, and neither would the ACC. If the automatic bid crap was crap, the teams that would be out would be Indiana and Boise State.
Yep.
Nobody's putting Indiana in there. Come on, man. Come on.
All right.
Guys. All right.
Yeah, only 59 likes. Y'all better. Let's get it hopping. Hey, we got gumbo tonight. You got gumbo tonight. Nobody else is.
Appreciate everybody coming in either way. It's all good, man. It looks, that is the easiest way to help us out is we take super chats, as well, but we never ask for them. I'll just put it to you that way. We don't ask for them, so we do accept them. You can put them on Cash App or Venmo, but I'll just say this. The main way to help us is just to make sure you hit the like button or even the dislike button. If you want to be a hater and hit the dislike button, that's all right. It's still interaction with the stream. It still helps us on the algorithm. We'd appreciate it. And it's the right thing to do. I tell people it's free to come in here and watch us, but don't be a freeloader.
Come on. Yeah. I know y'all like these late nights. I know you do because you don't have nothing else to do.
Yep. These
are up to 100.
This might actually be better for me too. Look at this, man. We did good tonight. And we were talking about a subject. Usually I only get this many if it's just Oklahoma guys, But I appreciate everybody coming in. I really do. Aside from Trojan Fight, who can kiss my ass, I appreciate everybody else that was in here tonight. And I always appreciate my Oklahoma brothers, man. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody else for coming in and just chopping it up with us. Look, I'll tell you this. I believe that there's a lot of really good teams in the country, but I really do think that what you have to do is realize that getting to the conference championship, you still need to win it. You still got to win it. You really do. So this idea that just because they made it to the conference championship, they belong in there, and Dabo told me I have to vote them in. Nah, don't listen to Dabo. He's full of shit. He's full of shit. You knocked him out, Dabo. It's your own problem. And the truth is, think about this for a second. Mm-hmm. If SMU doesn't come back like that,
right?
They had them dead in the water, and then all of a sudden SMU's back in it with a chance to win. Had it not been for that, it's all over.
Well, here's my thing is that if they do go to 16 and you're going to do the strength of schedule, they also have to put a stipulation. Going into the going in, if they're going to keep this bid, then the 4 champs definitely get in.
Thank you, Ryan.
Okay. But then if you lose it and your strength of schedule is not strong, that doesn't guarantee that you're in the 16-team playoffs.
Right. I agree with that.
That's almost like saying, okay, well, let's say, for instance, someone got in there was 9-3, but their strength of schedule was like a 74. but they were in the in the championship. If they lose, they shouldn't be in.
I agree. Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, the only way that the bottom line, the absolute only way that Clemson was getting in the conference or into the playoff after losing last week against South Carolina was going to be to win today.
Yep.
The only reason that they even got a shot to do that was because of the fact that Miami gagged its ass off.
Yeah.
21. So it is what it is. Hey, allegedly, I'm still celebrating the Dogs defeating Texas. Hey, man, good for them.
Hey, yeah,
appreciate it.
Horns down.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to run into Bama. That's a fact for Darius. I give you that one. You guys are good. Hey, man, thanks a lot. We appreciate everybody coming in. Make sure
for sure
on the way out, folks. And hey, thanks a lot, Bishop Frank, for popping in with me. We'll see you on.